When I used to attend events in the start, I would look at speakers very differently. I would like they are from another planet. When he got on stage as I guessed, he said everything that I had watched and in his own way. So there was nothing new that I had. So it was very, very bad experience, right? I watched my video, I realized that, okay, what the hell did I do? He said to me that he had spoken to, I don't know, hundreds of conferences, according to him. And he said the talk that I gave today, I at least 3 times or 2 times he rehearsed that in his room the last night.
In today's discussion, we talk about whether attending events is important or not, and what should be the primary mindset behind attending events. So we have Mr. Idris Bhatt with us today, who has been attending and talking at various events, especially in the Magento world. So how are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
So I know that you have just returned from an event in Malaysia, and you have been to a lot of other events also. So I would like to talk about how it was the first time that you went to an event.
Okay, so it was back in 2016.
Okay.
So I had started my company and work in Magento, and initially, just like any other company that would start from Pakistan, I created an account on Elance. Back then, there was this website called Elance. So I started with Elance, and we thought we will get more projects from there, and that was the only way we could think about, getting business, right? And so back then it was Magento 1. So we used to, learn and train, our developers to, how to get a hold on the platform. And we sort of still remember we Googled or tried to get access to the kind of material that would teach us the Magento. Back then the documentation wasn't really good. So we found one course that was available somewhere in BitTorrent or something, and we downloaded it, and we were so excited. It was instructor-led kind of training program, and the instructor was none other than Ben Marks. So when we started watching that course, I thought maybe I should also reach out to Mr. Ben Marks, right? So
Okay.
And out of nowhere, I sent him a cold email. And he replied, and I was so excited that, oh, wow, Ben Marks replied, right? And so I scheduled a call with him, and I discussed everything about myself and, tried to ask him so many questions. And during the discussion, it was the point of Imagine, which is a conference that used to happen in Las Vegas. So that came up, and Ben recommended that we should definitely attend that, and it will change our entire view of the Magento and whatnot. And so I just stated that reason, and I was really considering his opinion to be the ultimate opinion. He said it, and it had to happen. So I had my visa as well, so I thought maybe I'm going, right? Let's do it. I believe it was in December, and the event used to happen in April. So we decided back in December 2015 that we are going to Magento Imagine, and that was the first time.
So how was the experience like over there?
Unbelievable. So it was a 3-day event, and it used to happen in a hotel called Wynn. And I haven't seen a hotel like that in my, I have been to a lot of places, but that was an amazing venue that they used to choose. And the first time I saw the opening keynote, it was a big hall with a lot of people. I believe it was like more than 2,000 people or so. And I was one of them. And the entire vibe was really undescribable. Like, it was as if, I am not in this world. Like, I'm in a very different place that I've never experienced before. The sound, the energy, the enthusiasm and whatnot. And so I spent a lot of time, and I met with Ben Marks, and Ben actually introduced me to a lot of other people. He was very kind. And I loved it. And I also struggled with, how to bump into someone. That was like, I was nobody there. And I was like this beard guy from Pakistan, and who knows nobody, I mean, other than Ben Marks, and through him, maybe a few people. So I bumped into a lot of people and got all sort of weird experiences and responses. But nevertheless, interestingly enough, we got our first client from that one event.
Okay.
And that was worth it. I reached out to a lot of people and some responded. Back then, people used to respond to such emails. They know more and they don't do that anymore. So so we got a one client. We had a couple of discussions where we thought maybe they will also be great potential client for us, but never matured.
Interesting. So how many Magento events have you attended? And for you, which one has been the best so far?
I think I have attended about 16 or 17 events.
Okay.
Yeah. And by the way, there has been no event that I've been to, no Magento event, where I haven't been asked the question that, have you flown all the way from Pakistan just for this event? I mean, at times I felt bad as if this is not important enough to be here to fly that much. But in a way, it was very encouraging. Because that would make me feel that I'm so committed to the community and to this event, and I wanted so badly to be part of that community, as if somebody is trying to prove to the world that accept me. I'm as serious about this platform as you guys are, right? Look, I have come all the way from Pakistan, and I don't think I've seen anyone flying that far from Pakistan to attend Magento events. So, I mean, it makes me feel really cool, right? So, and you asked me which event has been the best. Well, Magento Imagine in Las Vegas has been the best event for sure, but it has been discontinued now since Adobe acquired Magento. It got merged, and somehow I haven't been there after that.
This was the first one?
This was the first one I attended. And after that, from Meet Magento events, with the title Meet Magento, the New York one has been the best event I've been to for various reasons.
Okay, and why was that?
Well, to be very honest with you, Meet Magento was the event where I have got the maximum business.
Okay.
Yeah, Meet Magento gave me the first time ever chance to speak at Meet Magento, right? And then, it's in New York, and I love New York.
So just to stop you over here, from attending events to speaking at events, so how was the journey like for you?
Yeah, it is a journey actually, right? When I used to attend events in the start, I would look at speakers very differently. I would like they are from another planet. And oh my God, how much they know. They stand in front of the audience and they are talking about so many things, right? All those terminologies, all those like customer experience and growth and performance, and I don't know, all these
the big words.
Big words. I would like, I don't know, we are Magento developers and we do Magento development. Give us work, right? That was our mindset. And then they are talking about also so many alien things for us. Like I never understood a lot of the terminologies. I mean, I knew their definitions and all that, but it was like, how do you organize them in one sentence to say what? So I wasn't really sure. There was that time. Then from there to a point where I started feeling, can I ever speak there as well? To the point where I said, man, I can. And then to the point where I said, I should. And so I decided that I have to speak in this event, whatever the next event is. And then I literally forgot. Okay. After the event, I was busy. Then I was in Thailand with my family, and we were just enjoying our, off days there. And I opened my LinkedIn, and I saw a fellow of mine from India, and he had posted that I just submitted my speaking proposal for Meet Magento New York.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh my God, even he's gonna speak, right? It's like everybody's speaking and I'm not even trying. So I decided to talk about something and I have to submit. So I called my team and I said, guys, we are submitting this proposal. And I think there were 2 days left or so.
Oh.
So then I thought of a topic and, I submitted it. And I wasn't really expecting that it would be selected. But when I got that email, I was literally jumping and I was like, wow. And I felt even better later on when I learned that so many people posted that their proposal wasn't selected, the ones that I would look up to. So what it told me that, oh my God, it's a lot of responsibility. The way they choose is very difficult, like a difficult criteria is applied. So I was very nervous and excited at the same time. I triggered my most crucial protocol or most promising protocol that would assure I will do good.
Okay.
Yeah, because
What is that?
that means that, get into it and make sure that you nail it. Okay? So there is
Okay.
no chance, there is no risk, and there is no procrastination. You have to work hard at this and you have to get it through.
Okay.
Let me tell you a funny incident.
Okay.
Back in 2011, that was the first time I got a chance to speak at an international conference. It was in Sri Lanka. So I used to run this startup, SMS All. I was part of it. And the conference was about mobile connectivity, or I don't know, something like that, related to mobiles, right? What happened was that I started researching on the topic, right? And I said, we'll talk about something here and there. And finally, I found one great talk on YouTube. And so I said, okay, I got everything, right, that I wanted. So I watched that talk for like 40 minutes, picked up all the points, and I said, I will talk about this, I will talk about this. That's how you basically learn about the topic. So when we went to the conference, I took my wife with me, and I had my daughter as well. So the entire family went there. So when I went there, and I was checking in at the hotel, so I told my wife that this guy I'm seeing at the check-in counter, I think I've seen him somewhere, right? And I was like, have you seen him? Like, where would I meet this guy? And after some time, I realized that it was the same person whose talk I had watched, and that person was the keynote speaker the next day. So when he got on stage, as I guessed, he said everything that I had watched. And in his own way. So there was nothing new that I had. So it was very, very bad experience, right? So when I got on stage, I did whatever, and I did really bad, and I couldn't even ever publish that talk. I didn't even finish that talk ever watching myself. It is still somewhere in the private video. It is there. And when I went to, but by the way, I didn't even realize until I saw my video that it was that bad. So I thought I did really fairly good. I was nice and I tried to be funny and whatever I did. After the conference, I went to this person and I saw him sitting in the bar and he was working. So I said to him, how was my talk? So he said, well, there were people worse than you. Like in a very polite way. I don't remember exact words. He said, you are still good. Like something like that. He said, there were people even worse than you. I'm like, seriously? So when I watched my video, I realized that, okay, what the hell did I do? So one thing I realized at that moment, that I didn't prepare for the talk properly. I was making my presentation the last night, right? I slept at 4 a.m. trying to finish my presentation. The lesson learned there was that never ever do this again. Do your proper work. And I was a bit scared as well. That's why I never attempted so many talks, right? But that was the point in Magento New York. I knew that I know enough to speak about something, that I can.
Okay.
So when my topic was accepted, I didn't want to risk it. So I devised a very thorough strategy.
Okay.
So my topic was choosing Magento in today's competitive landscape, right? Now, that's a controversial topic. I mean, not controversial, it's a difficult topic to speak to.
It's a very interesting one to have.
Interesting as well, but difficult because a lot of the people are not choosing Magento in today's competitive landscape and only very targeted people whose needs meet with Magento would go for it. And honestly, my talk was not about telling you reasons why you should choose Magento. My talk was about a case study where a merchant had been on Magento for so long while all other fellow merchants or competitors had moved away from Magento, but this merchant stayed there. So my angle was that how did they choose Magento or continue to choose Magento in the competitive landscape? So it was kind of misleading, right? Like some people might have guessed. And funny enough, just before 30 minutes of my talk, I met with someone at the conference and I told him that I'm speaking shortly in 30 minutes. He said, oh, what is your topic? And I said, it's choosing Magento in today's competitive landscape. So he said, oh, I have been looking for this. A lot of the time our clients ask us which platform we should be on. So I really want to learn why they should choose Magento. That's exactly what I was trying to talk about. So that made me even more nervous. I was like, oh no, I'm not going to talk about this. But then because I had thoroughly researched and critically approached my preparation, I had already covered that in the first few slides to set it straight. The other thing that I did in my view, that was good, that really helped me. I did not leave my preparation to be tested on the day of presentation.
Okay.
So I literally presented it to a lot of people beforehand. I think I had like around 20 meetings in a month.
20 meetings?
Yeah, in a month's time. Do you understand like how much time you need to reach out to people, to ask them to speak to you? I think I've reached out maybe 3 times more people. Only 20 out of them gave me time. And for every person, I went through as much of the talk content that I had prepared at that time, and kept on evolving it, got their feedback. I got people who said Magento is amazing. I talked to people who said Magento is no more anything. So I reached out to a lot of people, and they helped me shape up my talk. And by the time, the last few calls I had in that spree, they were all in agreement that the talk is good. So I had that kind of confidence, right? And then when I went there, I literally, another funny incident, okay? I am on my way to New York. I had a stay in Saudi Arabia. Lost my laptop there.
Okay.
And I had to do a lot of preparation during my flights because they're long flights. So I still remember I was at Jeddah airport and I was downloading PowerPoint on my mobile phone. Thanks that I have Galaxy Samsung Fold 3 that has a bigger screen. So, and it opened my presentation before I took off, and I was so happy to see. Otherwise, I would be gone. Like I had so much work to do still. Final touches, and I had submitted my deck, but I needed to write my script and understand what I have to say on each and every slide. So, and then I prepared for hours and hours and hours, and a lot of the work went into that presentation.
Okay.
And I think that's how it should be done. And I still remember that 2011 incident where this person told me that, the keynote speaker, he said to me that he had spoken to, I don't know, hundreds of conferences, according to him. And he said the talk that I gave today, I at least 3 times or 2 times, he rehearsed that in his room the last night.
Okay.
And he said that he said the joke that I made while settling on the stage was planned and rehearsed.
Okay.
And if you watch his video, you will you will think that it is just a random joke that he thought about. Then I realized, oh my God, there is much more in it. So the first time I did a lot of effort, full effort, and I'm very happy that it went really well. The way people praised it, it was well received, boosted my confidence. And yeah, so that's how it went.
Okay. So from the first time to the second time, what was the differences in the experience, and what was the mindset in which both were different?
Yeah, so the second time I decided that I shouldn't go with a topic that is that difficult to prepare for. Okay, so I chose a topic that I believed that has value and has a lot of excitement in it. So about AI, right? And then we are building this nice product, and it is actually solving an interesting problem. And so we got very good feedback from the initial pilot that we run. So
what is this product about?
It is basically about improving the back-end operations of e-commerce, starting with Magento, where we are trying to do it in other platforms as well. And I believe that it will give you the new AI experience, bringing conversational interfaces to the back-end operations. So that's very, very exciting work. So I was excited about the topic, and I talked to a lot of PhDs there. Just wanted to make sure that so I was coming up with my own reflections on different things, right? So I kind of wanted to say that. So this time I chose a topic that was exciting, and powerful, and I was confident because we were working it was kind of our own experience to share, right? And I wanted to also come up with my own ways of looking at how AI is shaping up everything. And so these were some of the big claims, and I had never heard them anywhere or read them anywhere. So I verified them as a best practice from some of the great PhD friends that I have to make sure that am I saying it correctly? Is it how it is? And so I got those validations. I was super excited that, okay, I'm good. So this time I would say 50-60% less pressure, 50-60% less nervousness. And I was kind of there, and my presentation was ready, and I practiced, but didn't practice that much, but it was okay. And so, yeah, this went really well as well.
So, given that you have such a rich experience in terms of events, attending them, and then also speaking at those, what do you think? Is attending events or perhaps speaking at events important? Like from all views, from sales point of view, from learning's point of view. So, do you think attending events or speaking at them is important?
Yeah, so I think, like I said, the first stage normally when people attend events is like a visitor. You're just a visitor.
Okay.
In that, you should set right expectations. Okay. When you go to the event, your job is to open up your mind, meet with a lot of people, but do not try to sell them anything. A lot of the time when founders go there, they're so occupied, especially from this part of the world, they're so occupied with their business goals that they can't really engage with anyone they meet. And that was something I learned after attending 10 or 12 events. I was always so much into getting sales, thinking about that whether I will get lucky enough to get clients or not. It was the exact reason why I wasn't getting clients.
Okay.
Yeah. So first of all, I think you must have things to talk about. In 2022, when I attended Magento New York, that was the year when I was also homeschooling my daughter.
Okay.
And when I went there, and I was standing with a bunch of people, we had introductions and all that stuff. One of the old friends, was there, and he asked me, well, how's life and what have you been doing? And I just said, I'm homeschooling my daughter. And when I said that, everybody was so interested to hear more, right? And I started telling them the entire thing, and I was super charged. And I went on and on and on. And I realized that they started showing interest. And I never had that attention or experience like people would talk. And I suddenly realized that, okay, so you ought to have things to talk about. And I always had a lot of things to talk about. I mean, not everything. So I don't know football. I don't watch that. But some sports, some history, some, education or common interest topics, right? So I realized that, okay, this is why the humanities subjects are important, or your hobbies are important. And you must be a human being before you're a business CEO or you're somebody who's trying to sell. So it is very counterintuitive, you always think that unless I talk about, my business and my values and services, how would they know? Well, you have to understand that first they want to know you, what type of person you are, how it is to talk to you. And so after that, I started loving those events. And just last year, 2023, when I was speaking as well at New York, I made a very good client while playing pool with him. You see? So, and when I was playing pool, I wasn't thinking about winning a client there. I was just focusing on winning the game. So, and I won, and and I didn't know. Honestly, the next day I met the same person. I said, you're the same person we played pool last night. And then we started talking, and suddenly something came up, and we started talking about business. And, so it's amazing. Now I've literally started loving it. And I meet with people, I try to be known, and I still feel that there are sometimes hesitations from the other side as well. But I think these posts and when I'm showing up my face and, we're recording this video and all that, it is making it easier for them. So that is another thing that helped a lot, that when they started seeing me outside of events, so they can recall me. This is also very important, to show up online and to give your content so that they can know you. And when they meet you, they are a bit relaxed and they know that who you are and what are you up to. And so they're not really anxious or nervous as well on the other side. So networking is important in my view. Setting the right expectation as a visitor, I'm talking about that. Then comes a stage where you have tried it and you have tried your luck and you've been nice to everyone, and whether you get clients or not, that's really on to luck. But definitely you're learning, you're charging yourself, you're opening up your mind, and all of that is a good investment on yourself. But then comes a point whether either you sponsor or exhibit. If you have money and you have something to talk about, then I highly recommend that you should try that. Because I've been speaking to people, and there are all sort of mixed kind of opinions. But I feel like if the event is busy and there are people attending it, then having a booth is very important. I think it is definitely gonna give you one chance at least that when the visitor will come, and you're already set to talk about business because that's why you're there. And the reason people visit marketplace is because they want to discover what is out there. So you have a chance of sales. Otherwise, you're just wandering there and nobody knows what you are thinking unless you put something on your face that I am doing this. I used to, by the way, think about this as well, having a product idea where I will look funny, but something, but they don't allow that probably to showcase your hourly rate, cheap development or affordable development. And speaking is not just a decision. I mean, you have to qualify for that. You have to have something to not waste everyone's time. And so I felt that at some point, and I'm more confident now, I really think that I have now a lot of things to talk about. So I would be applying and I would want to get a chance to speak. But I know that it's very difficult for them to choose because everybody is trying to speak about something, especially those who are part of the community and, those who do the hard work. They all have something to talk about. So it's very competitive. And I understand, the way they go through the entire process. Very difficult to shortlist few speakers out of hundreds maybe, or at least dozens of them.
So out of curiosity, I want to ask that which countries have you been to up till now after attending the first event in 2016?
Okay, so I've been to a lot of countries. I mean, Magento helped me literally see the world. Yeah, I'm so thankful to this for a particular reason. You know how difficult it is for us to get visas, right? And you need to have a reason to go to a country, right? And if you do not have a purpose, they don't give you visas. And so I have been to a lot of places. So let's recall them, okay? So I've been to USA, of course, right? I've been to Netherlands, and which in that trip I visited Europe for the first time. So that was amazing. I visited 5 other countries. Been to UK, been to Australia, been to UAE, Dubai, been to Singapore, Thailand, and been to Malaysia, right? And what else? Yeah, these are pretty much it, right? And obviously I've been to USA many, many times, right? For me, we went to New York, Imagine before. Yeah, so these are the countries that I've been visited. But I got a lot of visas to because of this.
So any incident in particular that you remember out of attending all these events in all these years? Can you perhaps recall something for us?
Yeah. So there was one time when my US visa was in administrative processing for 13 months.
Okay.
And it really felt bad, that there was nothing like I could do to get it. And I even missed a couple of Magento events during that period. So I was at Meet Magento Singapore, and I just shared with someone there that this is where I am stuck. So that person went all the way to write a powerful recommendation or invitation letter for me. And when I read that invitation, I couldn't believe that somebody would support me this much to write. He wrote so many good things about me that I was really happy, and I felt humbled, and I was like, I didn't know that people would be that close to me. Normally people do not put their backing like that because visa matters are really important ones, and you don't want to put in yourself there. So I think that really stood out, and luckily the same month I got my visa as well. And so that was one incident that I remember.
So one of the last few questions, what is that important in Magento events that you are so fond of them and you are so fond of attending and speaking at them?
Well, it's very simple. If, like I said, if you are that much dedicated to a platform, right? And when such community events happen, basically you get to see friends, you get to see the same faces who are driving it, who are as serious as you are about the platform. So it just gives you feel your relevance. You feel that you are not alone. There are other people who are so much into one platform. And when it comes to Magento, their community angle is really different. Like they are really charged. It's a very charged community. So you're definitely going to get a lot of energy when you go there.
Okay.
So I always feel charged. And nowadays, I actually love to meet a lot of people. Now it's very different experience. People actually recognize me and they greet me and they introduce me. And I mean, almost every group of, let's say, 5 people I go to, there will be at least 1 or 2 people who know me, and they would introduce me to the rest of the 3. So I always find common connections now in any settings, and my network is expanding through those common connections. And so it's even more exciting now. And I am looking forward to playing even better role and bigger part, especially with this product idea, right? This is the first time now I feel like in the last 10 years, we have an idea that we can bring to the world, and we can actually see how it goes there. Like we can be known for our work in the Magento community.
So interesting thoughts, I must say. So you've been to a lot of Meet Magento events, but have you tried to attend any other events other than from the Magento world, perhaps?
Yeah, I've been to GITEX in Dubai, and I've
Okay.
been to Leap in Riyadh, and London Tech Week in London.
Okay. And
and
how has been your experience in those?
I think GITEX and Leap are big events, but Leap was really big.
Okay.
And if you go there unplanned and like a random visit, like if you do a Meet Magento visit, type visit to such events, you're not gonna get anything out of it. You only feel lost. You would feel lost. But definitely, but I had a strategy at Leap as well. So I just visited one corner. I was really interested in edtech startups there.
Okay.
So I went to the edtech area and almost stopped at every exhibition, like almost stopped at every exhibitor, and
Okay.
had a very detailed discussion with most of them. And so that was a lot of learning for me, right? So I did get something out of it, but overall it was overwhelming, and I would probably think twice before I'd make a decision to go to such an event.
Okay. So in the current world where everything is online, do you still believe in in-person meetings or going to in-person events, perhaps?
Absolutely. I think the only thing that would stop you if you can't afford to be at such places. Otherwise,
Okay.
as humans, I think meeting in person is the thing for us. Meeting online isn't that kind of experience, right? So, but if you can't afford, it's not end of the world. You can still do a lot online. But like I said, I do not consider this investment on just my business. That's where a lot of people can't justify an entry in their balance sheet or income sheet, whatever expense sheet, that so much to be spent on this one trip. Why? What is the ROI? For me, the ROI is experience, and ROI is a different person before and after the event. And I have invested a lot on me, and I'm very happy.
So I think these are pretty interesting thoughts, especially coming from a person as knowledgeable and as experienced in the events world, perhaps, as you.
Yeah.
I think but there is a lot of knowledge that people can take out of it. And I hope that we can talk to you more about these things in future too.
Sure.